And we're back with another video. Y'all, it's been 3 weeks since my last video on prayer and fasting. I am so sorry, y'all. I never meant for 3 weeks to pass. Life was doing what it did those last 2.5, 3 weeks, and it threw me off. I'm not gonna lie, it threw me for a loop. But we're back. And we're back with the type of fast that you need to be doing every single time that you choose to fast and pray. And that is the can-do fast. You ever heard of the can-do fast? Let me tell you what it is. So this is the type of fast that only you can do. That's it. This is the type of fast that only you have the capacity to do. You may not have the capacity to do a 7-day liquid fast. It just may not be in you to do for that season. You may not even have the capacity to do a 3-day water fast or a 24-hour fast. And that's okay. But what you may have the capacity for is substituting one of your meals for time with the Lord. Intentional time and intentional meal substitution. Jesus did a 40-day and 40-night fast in the wilderness. We know that. While Esther did a 3-day fast. Esther could have done a 40-day. Maybe she couldn't have. Maybe she couldn't have done a 7-day. Maybe the 3-day was all she needed for the Lord to make a way in her time of desperation. Because really that's what it was. And according to scripture, Esther's people were about to be annihilated. And maybe she didn't have 7 days. Maybe all she had was those 3 days for a miracle to happen. And maybe that's all you have too. Maybe all you have is 3 days. Maybe you don't have 10 days or 40 days for a miracle to shift. Maybe all you have is that 3. So you have to know what type of fast you have the capacity to do. And the only way you can figure that out is trial and error. Unless you just so happen to know yourself so much and know yourself so deep that you know what you can do and you know what you cannot do. I know for a fact that in this season of my life right now, as much as I want to do it, I just can't do a 7-day water only fast. I don't have it in me to do. I know it because guess what? I tried it and I kept failing. I kept falling short. So I said, you know what? Instead of trying to do the 7-day water fast over and over again, I'm going to do what I can do because somehow I seem to be failing at that 3-day mark. So let me do a 3-day water fast, or let me do a 1 day a week fast. Maybe all I have in me is 24 hours. The Lord can use and can work with your 24 hours. Don't think that he cannot. So you have to understand and you have to do the work of figuring out what type of fast you can do. And once you get into your momentum, then that's when you can start expanding and elongating how many days you're in your fast. This is not a race. It's a journey for a reason. It's a marathon. I know y'all have heard those cliche sayings all the time, but it's really true. And there was something else I was going to say. What else was I going to say? Yes, start small. If you can't fast a full day, if you can't go a full day without eating, that's okay. That doesn't mean that just because you have to eat for whatever reason, you are permitted to eat whatever on earth you want to. The chickens, the fried chickens, the burgers, the fries, the pastas, the heavy and carb foods and high sugar foods. Why don't you substitute those foods for a lot more healthier, plant-based, whole food foods during your time of prayer and fasting? Because remember, during this time, you are sacrificing some of the very things that you do day to day and some of the very things that you love, which is those high fat, high carb, high sugar foods. So this is all about what are we going to give over to the Lord during this time that is in the realm of food. What type of food are we going to sacrifice? What food are we going to sacrifice in general for the Lord? And the last piece of advice for your can do fast is when you're starting small, do know you can always expand. It tells us in scripture that we have to stir up our faith. We got to pray into our faith. We got to stir ourselves up. We have to fan into that flame. Okay. You starting small in your fasting is you fanning into your flame of prayer and fasting so that in the coming months, the flame grows larger. And now you're strengthened even more and you have a larger capacity to fast for longer. But if you go in hitting the ground running, which I know that there are people who have, I was one of those who came in hitting the ground running with those extended fasts. But in this season of mine, I can't do that right now. And so know your season, discern the season, discern your capacity for what type of fast that you can do. Trial and error. That's all it is. Trial and error. And you may be in a position where you're like, you know what, sis, I don't want to just do a 24-hour. I want to do a 10-day. That's what I'm feeling led to do. That's what I'm feeling called to do. I am in the season of desperation. I need that. Kudos to you. Do what you can do. If you can do the 10-day, do the 10-day. If you can do the 40-day, do the 40-day. Whatever you can do and whatever you have the capacity to do, that's the fast that you need to be doing. So that's it. Simple, to the point. Drop in the comments below. Let me know what type of fast you feel like you can do in this season. What types of fasts are you desiring to do? And what can you actually do this season? So let me know in the comments. All right, y'all. Bye. Okay, really quick. I had to come on here and preface because I want to clear the air in saying that every single fast is not a fast that you can do or should be doing in your own strength at all times. I am just simply saying to use wisdom and use discernment and knowing what you can do starting out. But every fast, you're going to have to depend on the grace of the Lord to be your strength. So I hope that was clear. I hope no one thinks that I'm trying to encourage you to do everything in your own strength and on your own. We're not even breathing on our own. It is by the grace of God that we even have breath in our body. So I hope that was clear, and I hope I cleared the air on that. All right. Bye for real this time.